Is TGIF costing you your retirement? Are the words work-life balance costing you your retirement? These concepts could be why you end up working more decades than you need to. That's the purpose of my content, is to help you not have to work those decades if you don't want to. You can, but I want to make it to where you don't have to. And if you want your questions answered during a live, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I answer questions and the videos last as long as the questions do. This is a nice short live for those people who would never click on a 2-hour video. But TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and work-life balance, are these concepts costing you your retirement? I'm in Washington, the sun is singeing me. This doesn't happen very often. There's gonna be a couple quotes in this video, one from Bruce Lee, one from Offerman, quotes. Those things we use words for. Words have power. They cast spells. That's why we call it spelling. You need to be careful, I needed to be careful with how we think, because we think in words, we think in concepts. And I'm not gonna get all cerebral and try to use movies like Arrival to explain how we think in languages. I'm gonna dumb this down so that the Marine in me can understand it, and hopefully that means that I can explain it so that you can understand it. As a Marine, if I pull this off correctly, I'm gonna reward myself with some crayons ready to eat. That Marine Corps MRE. So, thank God it's Friday is the concept. What do you think when that goes through your head? Right? Yeah, such a common phrase. There's probably gonna be a restaurant chain made someday. But probably not in my life. So, thank God it's Friday, meaning my weekend is here. You are living for the weekend. This is your work-life balance. Don't work too much overtime. Don't give up your days off. Make sure you're doing things you can enjoy. Like that work-life balance, I'm gonna reframe what TGIF means, and I'm gonna reframe what work-life balance means, because I'm not gonna ask you to stop thinking in words. I'm gonna prove that we think in words. I'm gonna ask you to change the words you think in. So, thank God it's Friday means you're thinking to yourself, I'm so happy 5/7 of my life is over, that I'm gonna spend the next 2/7 of my life dreading the next 5. So in these 2/7 that I'm gonna be dreading the next 5/7, I'm gonna go out and do these things. Because the weekend doesn't cost you your time. The weekend costs you time and money, right? When you think I am free for 2 days, well, some people end up just laying in bed for 2 days. I know who you are. There are people who go, it's the weekend, I can go out with my friends. I don't have to worry about when I go to bed. I can actually stay up late without having to get up early. This is gonna be great. Which means you go out, and are you the Graham Stephan of the world, where you go out with your friends and you think, I'm gonna have the appetizer and a glass of water? Or are you the type of person that goes out and says, okay, I'm with my friends, I'm gonna have a meal, but since we're out, I might as well have a couple of drinks, and my couple of drinks turns my $20 meal into a $60 experience. Unless you are the person in the dynamic who pays when you go out, and you go out with a friend or your significant other, you have a $24 salad, and it costs you $130. The weekend costs you time and money. Let's take it another step. When you're thinking of the weekend, you're thinking, I'm not at work, I get to go do all of these things. Will these things be something like buy the RV? Right, I've got a friend who's retired, 30 paid off rentals, and he's, when I met him and he was retiring, he had an RV. It was 15 years old. It was pretty run down. He had great experiences when you go camping or spend the night in it, or anything that can happen in that RV to give you magical, long-lasting, lifelong memories. But his friends, my friends, who are still working to this day, even though he's been retired now like 5 or 6 years, they bought RVs. But did they buy an old one for $15,000 that you can actually enjoy and not worry about scratching? No, they went out and they spent $90,000 to $110,000 on the truck that's gonna pull the fifth wheel style, full 2-bedroom unit, washer, dryer, everything RVs for $180,000. So now they're almost $300,000 in debt on enjoying their weekends. And when you go out on the weekends, well, we're gonna do this barbecue meat thing, so let's spend $200 or $300 on this Alaska snow crab stuff that 2 people will enjoy. Thank God it's Friday. You are adding decades to the years that you have to work. not too many of my friends watch my content, but I have a feeling some of my friends are going to send this video to my friends who don't watch my content because I'm talking about you. That work-life balance. I got the RV so I can enjoy life now while I'm young. Yes, I'm going to rebalance that. Here's how we think in words. Now, if we look at ourselves, it's really hard to understand how we think in words. So we need fresh eyes looking at something else, like a law enforcement officer showing up at the scene. You don't want to be the person involved in the situation to figure out what's going on. You want to come in as an outsider and go, based on evidence, here's my unemotional response to what's going on. In the US, if I tried to explain why some buildings don't have a 13th floor, you would just think, well, that's normal. 13 is a weird number. In Europe, it's 17. Did you know that? So if you get on different cruises, some have a 13th and some have a 17th and some don't. So we think in words, and here's let's take it to another stretched out word here. For my Cantonese speaking friends out there, which I tried to learn, don't have the ear for it, probably a little too many bombs going off in the bomb desert, but 6 ways to say ma? One meaning your mother, one meaning horse, I don't get it. But the number 4 is a creepy number. The number 14 and the number 24 are creepy, but subject to gradation, they are more creepy than the number 4. We think in words. Because when you iterate the sound, the auditory experience of the word 4, the auditory tapestry that it paints, because we think in words, thank you, Dean Koontz, for those words, but 4 sounds like their word for death in a language closely related to theirs. And then 14 and 24 are more creepy because must die and likely to die are even more creepy than death. We think in words. The number 13, thank God it's Friday. If you say the words, I can, or you say the words, I can't, you're right. How many times have you heard that said? We think in words. Now let's go a little lighter with the numbers here. I traveled to Thailand, and like a tard, is it the R word if you take out the R? Let me know. Like a tard, I spent 6 months studying Thai. Right? I love languages. I've studied Russian, and I've studied Thai, I've tried Cantonese, lived in Southern California, so I know some Spanish, right? So I've just loved languages. I spent this time learning Thai, and I go to the Pimsleur method. I learn Thai. It's one of the ways I like to teach is the Pimsleur method. But then I spent 6 months on YouTube watching Dora the Explorer in Thai, or watching Thai lessons, and I get there and everybody speaks English. But here's my proof that we think in language. In Thai, I am tarded. There you go. Okay. If you go to Thai, or you're speaking to somebody from Thailand, and you want to laugh, anybody who speaks Thai just got it. How we think in words. The number 5, ha, sounds like laughter when you put 5 or 6 in a row. Don't put 3, for some reason that's weird. But you put 5 or 6, ha 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 ha, you're laughing at whatever the context is here. So when you say, thank God it's Friday, remember you're thinking, thank God 5/7 of my week are over. I'm gonna dread these 2/7 because of the next 5 that's coming that's going to suck again. When we can actually change these, we can reframe, remembering that words have power and they cast spells. I want you to think, if I work for a decade, I can spend the rest of my life saying, thank God I'm free. No Mondays. For Zuber, every day is Saturday. For me, every night is Friday night. We might have different goals. But I'm free. Never have to work again. I can go choose to. I can choose to make YouTube videos. I can choose to go and help my brother move over all his. Why does he have so much heavy stuff when he has his carpet done? I don't get it, but I have all this free time to do whatever I want. I do feel like a Disney princess when I'm at his house because there's every type of animal there. But the work-life balance. Let's look at this thing I'm going to wrap this video up with. How you want to look at the work-life balance. Don't think, I'm going to work, so I need to work hard, play hard. So I'm going to take these vacations. I'm going to get these 2 weeks off a year, 1 week, whatever. I'm going to do these things on the weekend that take the $300,000 in RV expenditures, or the $80 or $130 experience, so I can go out with a friend. I want you to think, I'm going to work for a decade. Right? I went 8 years, no vacations. For those 8 years, I drove a 15-year-old Jeep and a 17-year-old Jeep Cherokee. Old vehicles. I'm not going to do all of these things. When I do things outside, it's going to be out on the water. It's going to be something free, or close to free. Scuba diving does have its expenses, but once you have the gear, they don't cost too much. But you're not going to do all of these things so that you work for 10 years. The balance is to reset those scales. I work for a decade to balance my life. I never have to work again. We think in words. Is TGIF costing you your retirement, or can you reframe those words that have power and cast spells to give you your retirement? See everybody on Tuesday for my live stream where I will answer all of the questions. I hope you have a weekend full of awesome. I was going to do this on Thursday with my normal videos, but to use a big word, it's apropos to do this on a Friday.